Good morning, Rabbi Isai. We're holding up Tav Zayin on the base. Nusog Yehikter Shumshum Lechol Shumshum. The Lashon of the Gemara, Shumshum in Hebrew is called Sumsum. It's the smallest. It's considered like the smallest fruit, vegetable item, food item. So we're talking about pigul. What's pigul? A person is bringing a mincha HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he thinks to himself that he's going to take, as he's doing the kmitza, as he puts it on the mizbeach, he says to himself, I am going to eat the shirayim, I'm going to eat the leftover, whether the leftover is dough or the leftover is flour. I'm going to eat this flour, the leftover, tomorrow. Now we know a mincha you can only eat today. A mincha is kachim, it's like a chatos, you can only eat it today. So if he thinks about tomorrow, it's already outside the permitted time. So that's pigul. And if you ate it right now, today, you'd get karas. Why? Because you already had that thought that you're going to eat it tomorrow. Now what happens if you break it down to nuclear, to atomic particles? Every single every sesame seed, you do a pigul on. You do one pigul and then you move to the next. Let's say, so the whole kmitza is 1,000 sesame seeds. So you do this 1,000 times, one sesame seed at a time, you do pigul. Do all the piguls of the sesame seeds that are combined to be one pigul. Take the shumshum lechol shumshum, achakala koimetz kula, until he finished the entire kmitza, 1,000 of them. Rav Chizah, Rav Nuna, Rav Sheshes, we have a three-way machlokes, we just don't know who says what. Chad Omar pigul, it works, it's pigul. The Chad Omar pasul. One says it's not pigul, you don't get karas, but it's no good. It's possible, you can't eat from it, it's no good. Put it on the side. The chadamar kosher, it's completely kosher. Lema, so now we're going to do a very quick chazarah of everything we learned yesterday and the day before. Mandomar pigul kirimeir. Oh, so this is the chatzi matir. It's not chatzi matir. Check this out. In order to eat the shirayim, the leftover of the mincha, because you're going to take 3 fingers worth of the mincha. From the large bowl, you put your hand in there, the kohen puts his hand, goes like this, takes 3 fingers worth, puts it in a small bowl. There's also levayin on the top of the shirayim. Take that to the side, put it in another bowl. The 2 things on the top, the kmitza and the levayin, you have to put on the mizbeach. You cannot start eating from the large bowl, the shirayim. The kohanim get to eat the dough. They'll make donuts out of it. But they could only eat it after they put the kmitza on the mizbeach and the levayin on the mizbeach. So those 2 things are called matirim. They allow you to eat the shirayim. So now we have 2 matirim for 1 thing. So if you put 1 of the 2 on the mizbeach, that's not enough. That's a chatzi matir. It's only half. According to Rameir, you could do pigul on the shirayim with half of the matir. If you just thought about the kmitza, during the kmitza, you thought about the shirayim, you're going to eat the shirayim tomorrow, that's enough. That's pigul. According to Chachamim, you need both. You need to think that thought by, if you have 2 matirim, you have to think that thought that you're going to eat the shirayim tomorrow by both. So perhaps Rameir, who says that you don't need the whole thing, you can do a half a matir. So therefore he holds you can do 1 sesame seed at a time. 1 sesame seed at a time is 1,000th of a matir, and that's okay. Every 1,000th of a matir, it combines. You don't need the entire matir. Perhaps that's a machlokes. The Gemara says no. Maybe the exact opposite. We'll throw it we could toss it around, we could make the svara work the other way. Rabbanon will argue in Meir, and they say you can't do a half a matir, you have to do the entire matir. You have to put both the kmitza and the levaina on top of the mizbeach. So you would have to put all the shumshum together in one shot on the mizbeach. Kosher kerebi. So Shitas Rebbe is beautiful. Once we have, we have a little bit of the. We have 2 on Shavuos. We bring 2 sheep and two breads. Those of you who saw the shir, you saw Avi Kamyansky doing tnufa to the sheep. You have to do tnufa with the 2 breads. You have to wave it, the whole thing. So Rebbe, we had a shiloh, Gishmak shiloh. What happens if, now in order to eat the breads, you have to shech, you have to be makdir both of the sheep. So sheep blue and sheep red, 1 and 2, they're both matirim for the bread. So we have 2 matirim again. It's another case of 2 matirim. And Rebbe says that if, while he's shechting sheep number 1, he thinks about a half a kazayis of one of the breads, he's going to eat one half of a shear, a half a gezais of bread number 1 tomorrow, and as he's shechting sheep number 2, he's thinking to himself he's going to eat from the bread another half a gezais. So we have 2 problems going against us in this case. What are the 2 problems? First of all, each sheep is a half a matir. Second of all, and that according to Chachamim, half a matir doesn't work. Another problem is that he didn't even do a full shear. Each one he did a half a shear. Rebbe says it's so bad, this pigul, your mamish not on the level of doing pigul, so the entire thing is kosher v'yosher. It's mamish, you can eat it, it's not a problem, it's 0 pigul. So we have 3 shitas, like complete pigul, it's not complete doiraisa pigul where you get karas, it's just puzzle. Or it's completely kosher. It's like mikatzel katza and it's something in the middle. We have 3 shitas over here. Says Gemara Memai. Who told you? Dilma. You know what Rebbe Meir says? You can do a half a pigul on a half a matir. When you do kmitza, look, the kmitza is a full kmitza. There's a full shear over there. Okay, so you didn't do the levina, but you did a full shear in the kmitza. But over here, when he's doing sesame seed at sesame seed, each one is not a shear. So maybe even Rameir holds that it's not pigul. And who told you the Chachamim say it's possible? Over there, they said it's possible and not 100% pigul because the matir, look, the matir is levina and kmitza, and he only did it on the kmitza. He didn't do it on the levina. So Rabban say it's no good. It's not a good pigul. Oh, it's just possible. But over here he did the entire all 1,000 sesame seeds. Eventually he got to every single one, and he did pigul in every single one. So maybe it's real pigul. Over there, in this case, when you have 2 sheep and you have 2 breads, so he did a little bit from each bread. He didn't do the whole bread. He didn't do the whole thing from the bread. But over here, where he did it from the same batch of kmitza, so that is a good pigul. Elo says the Gemara, you're right. If you hold that it's pigul, you're going to say it's pigul even according to Chachamim, and even according to Rebbe that says kosher, he's going to say over here pigul. And when you say it's possible, it means according to all 3 shitas. Rebbe is going to say it's possible. Reb Meir is going to say it's possible that it's not pigul. Kosher, and if you say that it's kosher over here by the sumsum, divrei hakol, it means it's completely kosher. Even according to Reb Meir that says mefaglim chatzi matir, over here he's going to say it's kosher. Elo mando amar pigul divrei hakol. Why would you say again? What are we talking about? A guy did pigul 1,000 times in 1,000 small shiurim of sesame. If you hold it's pigul. We said this. What's the pshat? It's normal to eat 1 sesame at a time and to put it on the mizbeach 1 at a time. Yes, it is the way to eat. It's not the way to be maktir like that. So if it's not the way to be maktir, so it's not even pigul, just will make it possible. It's like you put it on, it's like a mincha that never went onto the mizbeach, so it's not pigul. Yes, you can put on a little bit at a time. It's not the way to eat. Say the Chariva de Pumbedisa, those who argue will see this soon. Haktara mifagelas haktara. That, let's talk about haktara here. These are the 2 things on top are what you put on the mizbeach, the kmitza and the levina. So if I think during my kmitza that I want to be mefagel the levina, in other words, I'm thinking as I put the kmitza on the mizbeach, I'm thinking to myself, I am going to be makter the levina tomorrow. That's pigul for the levina because you can't put it on tomorrow. You have to put it on today. So that's considered pigul. They say you could go from one makter to the other. Oh, now it's against a lot of things that we learned. I understand your shilas. Haktar mefagelas haktar says Rashi. Hikter koyim zamanas like the levina. Lacher zman pigul. It's pigul. But we learned that one matter cannot be mefagel another one. That we learned by 2 sheep. You cannot have a thought of sheep 1 to sheep 2, from the blue to the red. But that's different. The Hasam ikbu b'chadmana, he brings the Gemara that we're going to have in a minute or 2, in 5 minutes. Since over here is in one kli, the levina together with the kmitza was in one kli, so one could have an effect on the other, says Rashi. Typically speaking, Rabbanan say you can't have a thought from one matter to the other, from kmitza to, let's say, levina. Over here is different. That's when, check it out. When you go from the kmitza and you're thinking that you're going to eat the shiraim tomorrow, you completely left the levina alone. The levina has nothing to do with anything. So that's a chatzi mater. Levina b'milsakayim, and the levina is all by itself. But over here, you did one of these. You're thinking from kmitza to levina, not from kmitza to the shiraim. So you actually thought about the levina. Now you involve both of the materium together in your thoughts. So they come up with a big chiddush and they say it's as if you had a thought in both. Let me prove it. So he brings all four avodas over here. What are the four avodas of a mincha? You do kmitza, you put it into another kli, you walk the kli over to the mizbech, and then you put it on the mizbech. That's putting in the kli. And bring it to the mizbech. And put it onto the mizbech. Here, like this, these are the four avodas that we have. Shchita kabbalah eloch ezrigas, we have kmitza and esinus kli eloch haktara. You're going to eat the shiraim, or you're going to be makter the kmitza. That's a typical outside of its place is pasul. Ve'im by cars, because chutzim koimi never gets cars. Chutz money, and if you had the thought of pigul, which is outside of its allotted time, then it's pigul b'chayim of cars. Now we put all four in one sentence, so we want to say that all four you did it the same way. So says the Gemara, that the last one, the last avodah called aktara, is similar to kmitza, let's say. Now think about it. Kmitza, there's no levina involved in kmitza, right? You're doing kmitza just to the flour, just to the dough. Therefore, is there one matter or two matters by kmitza? There's only one matter by kmitza. There's no levina involved. So if your thought is to do pigul by the kmitza, it's a full kmitza. It's a full pigul. Why? Because there's only one. There's only one matter. There's no levina. Where do you have two matirim? All the way at the end. By Aktara. The Gemara wanted to say lach also. Okay, but by Aktara there's two matirim. So the Gemara, but look, you put all four in one sentence, so you have to compare all of them. My lav Aktara do midahanach. Mahanach bein lechol bein laaktir. Just like, let's say, the first one or the first two, first three. You're thinking about shirayim, and you're thinking about lahaktir, the aktar also. Avaktara, so the last one also, bein lachol bein lahaktir. So it's whether you're going to eat it or you're going to be maktir the levina. Look, so you can go from the kmitza to levina. You see, you can go from kmitza to levina. You can think about when you're putting the kmitza on the mizbech. You can also think about levina. Why? Because it's similar to the kmitza, the first part, where while you're putting it on the mizbeach, while you're doing the kmitza, you think about the levina, and it's good. It's a good pigul. Loi. No, not a raya. You're right, it's in the same sentence, but they're different. Hanach bein lechol bein lahaktir, the first three are different. You can think about eating, you can think about haktara, but the last one, lechol bein lahaktir loi, the last one is you can't be not like charib pumbudisa, you can go from one to the other. Oh, you have to stick to what you're doing. You have to be infagil in both, or whatever it is, but you need both. Yosef Menachos Bargad Kamida Abayo, Menachos is arguing. Yosef Kol Amar Mishmei Rav Chizda, he said in the name of Rav Chizda, Ein Haktara Mifagel Saktara. You're wrong. Not you're wrong. It's not true what Charife Pumbedis said. You cannot think about while you're doing the kmitza. You can't think about the levina. Doing pigul. And even according to Rameh that says you could do pigul by half. That's only because it went from the kmitza to the shirayim. The klimitz matter do because the kmitza happens to be what allows the shirayim to be eaten. One of the things that allows it to be eaten. Here, take a look at this. The kmitza allows the shirayim to be eaten. But what's the connection between these two? These two don't have a connection. The kmitza is not mater levina. Levina is mater the shirayim. The kmitza is mater the shirayim. There's no connection between the kmitza and the levina in terms of mater. The Kohen is about to do. Avalocha, the Kohen is not matter levaino, lemotzim mefagobe. So Abaye tells, who was this? Rav Menachos. Ani Mari, you heard this from our master Mishmei the Rav. Tell me if you heard this. You heard it mamish from his mouth. Yes, I heard it. You can't go from the koimitz to the levayna. We're talking about the two sheep of Shavuos. Here, let's say this picture is better. You have two sheep, and he shechted one of the sheep to eat that sheep. Or let's do this one. He shechted the blue to eat the blue tomorrow. What's that? It's a half a matter. The blue is a half a matter, but it's its own matter. It allows itself to be eaten. When you shecht it and you put it on the mizbech, you could eat it. So while he shechted it, the blue, he thought to himself he's going to eat the blue tomorrow. So it's actually pigul. It works on the blue, but it doesn't work on the red. So his red friend is not pigul. What if he had thoughts about when he's shechting the blue, he's thinking about eating the red the next day? That's perfectly okay. There's no pigul at all. Why? My time it's our svar that we just said now, because sheep number one is not matter sheep number two. What do they come to be matter, Rabbi Isai? The bread's in the center over there, or themselves, but they're not coming to matter one another. Blue has nothing to do with red. No, that's not the reason. This is where Rashi got it from before. Over there, the two sheep are not in one kli. But over here, that the koimet and the levayna were in one vessel in the beginning, the large kli. Then that's why kichadamu they have an effect one on the other. This is also one of the beautiful lashonis in Shas. I don't think it's anywhere else. I didn't really check, but I have a feeling it's like one of a kind. This thing, Rebbe Chanina, made me like taste it like in my bones. It's in. I love it so much. It's like worth like the entire Shas. Hikter koimetz lahakter levoina lechol shirayim lemachar. So something weird is going on here. He put two things together. He's putting the kmitza on the mizbeach in order to be makter the levoina, which is pigul tomorrow. To eat the shirayim tomorrow. What is going on here? He put the kmitza on with two additional thoughts. To also put the levina at the wrong time, and also to eat the shirayim at the wrong time. That's pigul. Michael Mashwan, what's he trying to do here? If we're talking about our sugya, they can go from one to the other. You go from the kmitza to the levina. That's one of the things he said. I'm going to put the levina on the mizbeach tomorrow. And if that's considered pigul, so then why did he talk about shirayim? So erase the whole shirayim part, and I got the idea. The idea is I can go from one matter to the other, from kmitza to levina. That was charivet de pumbedisa. That's what they said. In other words, take out the whole sentence of shirayim. And if you want to tell me about Rib Meir, that what? You're going this way. You're going from the kmitza to the shirayim. You're thinking while you're doing the kmitza, I'm going to put the shirayim on the mizbeach tomorrow. So what's extra over here? The levina is extra. Why are you talking about the levina? To eat the shirayim tomorrow. What do I say? Whatever. Okay, that's another thing, if you could do that or not. That's another sugi we'll get to. Okay, eating the shirayim tomorrow. And just remove the whole levina part. Why are you sticking both things? Now, and if you want to tell me two chidushim, and you can go from one matter to the other matter, this was a shocker to me. I'm not a great Hebrew speaker, I'm not native, but I asked the Israelis last night and they kind of also thought so. What does it mean when I read to you, and or? What does v mean? And. That's what an American would think, but not Rashi. Rashi says ve means or. In other words, stick in the vav, and if there's a vav, it would mean two separate halachas. If you're telling me two new halachas, that what I hold, mefaglim mechatzi matter, and I also hold that I could go from one matter to the other matter. So say, that's going from one matter to the other, that's chariv d'mudisa, and another halacha, lechol shirayim l'machar, is I hold like Remeir, they could be mefaglim mechatzi matter. Listen to this, Rabbi said, this is unbelievable. Everything you thought is the opposite. It's not about mefaglim mechatzi matter. It's not about one aktor from the other. It's the exact opposite. He holds that both of those things are not true. He doesn't hold like Remeir, that mefaglim mechatzi matter. He doesn't hold like chariv d'mudisa. Just, this is why he loves it so much. When you combine it all together, then he agrees to it. So, since he said by he's going to be makter the koimetz, to be makter the levaina, to eat the shirayim tomorrow, so he put it all together in one big pot, and that makes it pigul, even though typically speaking you don't say mefaglim chatzi matter, and you can't go from one haktara, from one matter to the other. In this case, since he put it all in there, that's the big chiddush. It's like okay. If you're makter the kmitza to eat shirayim, and koimetz, by the way, is one of the two matirim. L'divrei hakol pigol, is that true? I did one of the matirim, it's a half a matir. According to everybody, it's a pigol. As a gemara of a miflik pligi, it's only Remeir that says the chatzi matir is okay. Eloema, l'divrei hakol pasul. Not okay. There's a problem here in the Brisa. It didn't really say pigul; it said pasul. So we have to change the words around. As the Gemara Velema raise a pigul, verb meir. If you're already changing words, just say, you know what? It's not a divrei hakol. It's just according to one sheet called Remeir. He says no. Tana divrei hakol atznuye. One thing he remembers that he was told that it goes according to everybody. Pigul but pasul michlaflei. You can get confused between those two words. Iceberg, Goldberg, pigul, pasul. But to hear that it's according to everybody, and now you're going to go, it's just one person, that not. Says Gemara, we actually, I'm pretty sure we had this Mishnah, or at least in the Brisa. If you do the mincha to eat something, you're thinking in your mind to do pigul on something that's not the derech to eat. In other words, the kmitza goes on the mizbeach, it's not edible. The levaina goes on the mizbeach, it's not edible. Your thought while you're doing the mincha was to eat, to physically, as a human being, to eat the part of the mincha that's not edible. That's not pigul. Ulahaktir dover shein dark lahaktir. You're going to put the shirayim onto the mizbeach, and that's not something you do. The shirayim is something you eat. Kosher, that's not pigul. Rebbe Lezer poisel. Rebbe Lezer says no, that is considered, well, at least it's possible. It's not kares, it's possible. Lechol dover shedarki lechol. Ulahaktir dover shedarki lahaktir. Pachas mikizayis. You did the right thought. You thought about eating the shirayim tomorrow, but only a half a kizayis, half a shir. Kosher, you need a full shir. Lechol kechatzi zayis ulahaktir kechatzi zayis. Kosher. If you want to combine a half a zayis of aktara together with a half a kizayis of eating, in other words, you're thinking to yourself, you're going to eat a half a kazayis of the shirayim tomorrow, and you're also going to put a half a kazayis of the kmitza onto the mizbeach tomorrow. Those two half a zaysim don't combine for one kazayis. Why? She'ein achil of aktar ben starifim. You can't combine the two. That we certainly had at least twice. Omer Rabasi, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. My time with Rabbi Eliezer. Why does Rabbi Eliezer say it's possible when you think about something that's not the derech to eat? You're going to do kmitza. You're going to do pigul on the kmitza, which is supposed to go on the mizbeach. You think to yourself you're going to eat it. Why does he say it's possible? Very interesting lashon. It's say vim yeochel. What's ha'choil yeochel? To Pasuk is talking about two different things. There's two types of eating, as we discussed in the whole Zvachim, the whole Menachos. That there's eating and there's eating. When you spray blood on a mizbeach, that's eating. That's the eating of the mizbeach. The machshava ruins it when you think about the eating of the mizbeach. Just like you go from one food to the other food, from one mizbeach to the one achila mizbeach, from the kmitza to the aktara, from the kmitza one achila to the other achila. Kach mechashem achilas adam mizbeach u'machilas mizbeach l'adam. They're interchangeable. So says Rabbi Eliezer that you can go from a thought of eating a kmitza, even though the kmitza is supposed to be on the mizbeach. My time in the beginning rachmana b'lashon achila, because the Torah should have said a lashon aktara, and the Torah used the lashon of achila. They take that word out. Rabbanon, haydap kinu rachmana b'lashon achila. Rabbanon will argue. They say, you know why it says it in the lashon of eating hachal yachel instead of aktara? The loish takim mechashiv tells us two different chidushim, and though these chidushim we're going to have to see how Rabbi Eliezer learns them. The loish takim mechashiv lashon achila mizbeach, the loish takim mechashiv lashon aktara mizbeach. It doesn't matter what lashon you're thinking about, whether you're talking about achila or aktara, it's still considered a pigul. Inami ma'achila b'kizayis v'aktara b'kizayis. I need to tell you the shear. So just like achila usually is a kizayis, so too when you put it on mizbeach, I know the shear is also kizayis. No, when it comes to eating, it has to be the derech to eat. You can't have a machshava of shloi kederech, of me eating a levaina, me eating a kmitza. Kmitza goes on the mizbeach. Rabbi Eliezer, just let's finish this. How does Rabbi Eliezer know? I'm saying before, not before the shir is over, before I do the sponsorship. Rabbi Eliezer, how does he know these two halachas? Inamim yochel yochel. So double up the same word twice. Why? My ha'achol yochel, two different words. Shmas minotarti, the kizayis halacha, and then you can go from a person to mizbeach. Or if Rabbi Eliezer is actually learning from a pasuk, it's a pasuk. What's your punishment if it's in a pasuk? Kares nam l'chayiv. You should get kares like every other pigul. And if you say that according to Rabbi Eliezer, he does get kares. You yourself said that in the name of Rabbi Eliezer, she'ein onish kares. Why doesn't he get kares? Amarle, you're right. According to one man, he actually does get kares. According to in Rabbi Eliezer, it's just a machlokes tanoim in Rabbi Eliezer. Tanoia leave the Rabbi Eliezer. That what? If according to one man and Rabbi Eliezer, it's the rice that you get kares. According to others, the rabbanon, the sign we learned. This is like derech. You don't drink the blood. So if you shecht a carbon in order to drink the blood tomorrow, which is for the mizbeach, or lahaktim b'sar l'machar, the steaks that you're supposed to eat, he said he's going to throw it on the mizbeach. It's like derech. Lechol me'imurav l'machar, the imurim, the skirt steaks, the kidneys, the fats that go on the mizbeach. You're thinking to eat it. That's also shleik derech, kosher. Rabbi Eliezer paisel, and Rabbi Eliezer says paisel. Now lehaniach midam l'machar, just to leave the blood, not to do anything, not to drink it, just to leave it. Rabbi Yehuda paisel. Remember, Rabbi Yehuda says paisel. Omer Rabbi Eliezer abezu Rabbi Eliezer paisel v'chacham machshirim. Which we have to understand what Rabbi Eliezer is saying different than Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Eliezer paisel v'chacham machshirim. Now says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda aliba the man. Who's the Rabbi Yehuda going according to? Ilay aliba the rabbanon. When you're drinking the blood, you say, I want to drink the blood. He said it's kosher. So certainly if he's just going to leave it, comes Rabbi Eliezer says, oh, this also Rabbi Eliezer says is possible. Rabbi Eliezer, I know Rabbi Yehuda, so he's saying the same exact thing as Rabbi Yehuda. Ella says, so this is all we wanted, this nikud over here. What the argument is, you're right. Rabbi Eliezer says it's possible. Do you get kares or not? To leave the blood over is just a psul, you don't get kares. But but the other case of drinking the blood, that you get kares. Saying to yourself, you're going to drink the blood tomorrow. Both of them is just a psul and no kares. So you see, there is a machlokes whether or not Rabbi Eliezer said it's kares. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.